Hello, welcome to join me for Chinese class. I'm your friend Jasmine. Today we are going to learn the second part of the differences of word classes between Chinese and English. Let's have a recap of what we learned in the last session. In the last session, we learned about the differences for 4 word classes. They were noun, pronoun, adjective, and measure word. For noun, we learned that the singular form and the plural form for Chinese nouns are actually the same. We don't attach like a suffix or in Chinese another character to indicate it's a plural. But still we can use number and a measure word to indicate how much the number is or the amount is. For pronoun, we learned that the nominative noun and pronoun and accusative form are also the same. And for adjective, we learned that not only can an adjective modify nouns, it can also modify verbs, which functions exactly in the same way as adverbs in English. And also, there is for each adjective, there is no corresponding form of adverb like we have in English by change the form, right? By adding a suffix ly at the end of the adjective to form it as an adverb in order to modify a verb in English. But in Chinese, we don't have such a complex rule. We can directly use an adjective to modify a verb. Those are the main differences that I really wanted to emphasize, so that actually I think those rules are actually make things simpler. We don't have to memorize every form changing rules, and we don't have to memorize the irregular form for some adjective, right? When we want to change it to its corresponding adverbs. Okay, so today we are going to learn a very important difference between Chinese and English, which is about verb. Verb, 动词, 动词. As we know, verb is like the soul of a sentence, right? In English, we have so many grammar rules for verbs in terms of tenses, in terms of voices. In English, we have to change the verb to different kinds of forms to fit the tense or voices. In Chinese, this is especially simple because we don't need to change form. So we don't need to spend a lot of time memorizing the rules, memorizing the irregular form change rules, which I think is very helpful for a foreigner to learn a different language. Usually, because I'm studying self-studying Spanish also. Even though Chinese and Spanish share lots of common rules, still the rules about the form change in verbs in Spanish I think are more complex than in English. So at the beginning, I said, actually Chinese grammar is super easier than English and Spanish. What I really wanted to note was about the grammar rules about verbs. So let's find out how easy it is in Chinese. We are going to learn the negative form for the verb, the interactive form, and also the most important part, how do we fit a verb into different tenses. So the negative form for a verb, let's recall how we do this in English. Of course, we should use the word not to indicate it's negative, right? But also we need to add some helping verb along with not to express a negative statement. So what are those helping verbs? They can be a be verb, right? A linking verb. They can be do, does, did, or they can be modal verbs. Can, will, not. But in Chinese, we don't need any helping verb. We don't need any linking verb. So for adjective, as we learned, adjective can function as the predicate in a sentence, right? We don't need any linking verb like be in English. So to express that it's a negative, we just add this Chinese character 不 before the adjective, after the subject. Subject 不 adjective. So this is the first formula. The second one for verbs, also we add a 不, which means not, between the subject and the verb. Also, there is the third formula that if we want to express a negative situation for the complement of an action, instead of the verb itself, we should add the Chinese character 不 after the verb and before the complement, which is showing as the third formula here. Subject, verb, and 不 and complement. So in most cases, usually it comes between the subject and the predicate. Either the predicate is either an adjective or a verb. Let's look at some examples here. 我不热. 我 means I, 不 means not, 热 means hot. Here, hot is an adjective, right? See, we don't have any verb in between the subject and the predicate. See the position, the 不 is it's between the subject and predicate, right? Which means I am not hot. English, usually for an adjective we should have a linking verb. I am, you are, he, she, it, right? Second one, 水不干净. 干净 here is also an adjective, which means clean. Water is clean. When we say it in an active way, water is not clean, right? Here, 不 is between the subject and adjective. The translation, the water isn't clean or is not clean. The third one, this is about a verb. 我不喜欢. 喜欢 is a verb, means like, love. 我喜欢 I like. How about the negative way? 我不喜欢. Okay, it's between subject and the verb. But in English, can we say I not like? Of course we cannot. We should use a helping verb do here. I don't like, and he doesn't like, she doesn't like, right? The first one, 我不去. 去 is also a verb. It means go. 我不去. I not go. Here, 我不去. It's more like a future tense. So accordingly, we should use the helping verb of a future form. I won't go, right? I will not go. I won't go. 我看不清楚. Okay, this is subject, verb, and complement. So we should add the verb, add the character 不 after the verb and before the complement. 我看不清楚. 清楚 means clear. See something clear. 不清楚 not clear. So it should come before the complement and after the verb. The positive way is I see it clearly, right? I can see it clearly. So the negative way is I cannot see it clearly. So this is a very significant difference between Chinese and English, even though they are quite the same in a positive statement. Because in English, in a positive sentence, we don't need a helping verb, right? But in the negative sentence, in English, we need to add a helping verb. But in Chinese, we don't do that. We don't add a helping character before the verb or before the complement. This is a very important difference. So next topic is about interactive form. Okay, so this is about the question. How do we form a question in Chinese? The differences are, in Chinese, there is no order change from a declarative sentence to an interactive sentence, which is described as WH in situ, means the interactive pronoun stays in the same place as the counterparty in the declarative sentence. The second rule is still no help verb. We don't add some helping verb like do, did, have, had, similar to the negative form rule, right? And for interactive form, as there are two types of interactive sentences. One is the simple question, another is not a simple question, right? So the rule here is also different depending on each question type. For simple questions, for which the answer is usually yes or no, we add some character at the end of the sentence to indicate it's a yes or no question. So what are these characters? There are mainly 3 characters. Each fits its unique situation. The first one is ma. This is most common one. Ma. Second one is ba. Ba. The third one is ah. Ah. I will explain the difference for these 3 later. So the second question type is not simple question. It's WH question, right? Which means we should have interactive pronoun to lead the question at the beginning. So I think we are already familiar with those WH words. Who, whom, whose, where, when, why, how. Let's first look at the simple question tab. So there are 3 characters, right, that we can add at the end of the question. So let's look at the first one, ma, which is the most common one when we make a question sentence. 你喜欢咖啡吗？你 means you, 喜欢 means like, 咖啡 means coffee. 你喜欢 coffee. This is a declarative sentence, right? How to form an interactive sentence? We just simply add the character ma at the end of the declarative sentence and the question mark. 你喜欢咖啡吗? So, accordingly, in English, the declarative sentence is 你喜欢 you like coffee. That is a positive sentence, right? So how do we transform it into a question? We must use a helping verb to lead the whole question sentence, right? So we need to use do to lead the sentence here. Do you like coffee? Okay, so how do we answer this kind of question? The answer is simple, right? Either yes or no. So if I want to say yes, I should say 是的, 是的 means yes. 喜欢, this is like a duplication, like a double confirmation. 喜欢 is the verb in a sentence, right? Yes, I like it. But in English, usually we don't say the second part. We just say yes or no. We don't repeat that I like it. But I would say in Chinese, we usually don't ignore the second part. We like to double confirm about the result. So if the answer is no, I should say no means here in Chinese it's 不喜欢 不 plus a verb, right? 不喜欢. Here, see, we just learned about the negative form, right? The rule is to add a 不 in front of the verb. 不喜欢, this is like a repetition. In English, we often say, no, I don't. No, I don't. And we often omit the verb here, right? We don't say, I don't like, or I don't, any verb here. We just say, I don't. We don't want to repeat the verb action in the answer. But in Chinese, we would like to double confirm whether we like it or we don't like it. 我喜欢 or 我不喜欢. So here, I just want to emphasize that we add a character at the end, but we don't use any helping verb in the interactive sentence. So this is for the first tag, yes or no question tag. Let's learn the third example. 你去参加聚会了吗？你去参加聚会了吗？ This is talking about an event in the past. So in the translation in English, we should use the helping verb for the past tense. Did you go to the party? Did you go to the party? We should not say do you or will you go to the party, right? Because the tense in the Chinese word is about the past. Okay, the answer here, if it's yes, we will say 是的，是的，去了。If it's no, 没去。Here, what I want to tell you is that if the tense in a sentence is about the past, we don't use bu. We don't use bu to mean not. We use another character, 没去 plus a verb. It's the same function, but 没 is only used for things that already happened. For things that haven't happened, that is about the future, we use the character 不. So this is the difference. For the second and the third character, 吧 let's look at the difference here. 他是中文老师吧? When someone asks this question, actually he probably has already got the answer, but he just was not 100% sure about it, so he asked the question. So in English, we should first give a declarative sentence, then we give a question to confirm about it, right? He is a Chinese teacher, isn't he? We ask to get a confirmation, right? So in this situation, we use the character 吧. The third character 啊, 他是你的老师啊. Pay attention to the tone here. 他是你的老师啊. Does it sound like I'm so surprised, I'm shocked? So in this kind of situation, I use interactive sentence to express my shockness, my surprise. So accordingly in English, we should say, oh, really? He's your teacher. Still, we're asking for confirmation, right? So just remember, when do we use 嘛? In most cases that we know nothing about the answer, we use 嘛. If we know something about the answer but we're not sure, we use 吧. And if we are very surprised or shocked, we can use are to get a confirmation. So for the second type of interactive sentence, the WH question sentence. In the last session, we already learned about the pronouns, right? Interactive pronouns. For example, for whom, who, what. For whom, it's 谁. For what, it's 什么. For where, it's 哪里. For when, asking for time, it's 什么时候. 时候 means time. 什么 is what, right? What time. Similar to when, right? For why, asking about the reason, it's 为什么in Chinese. For which, it's 哪个一个 or 哪个. E can be ignored. Yeah, we always say like this. We can use 哪一个 or we can use 哪个. Both are fine. So let's look at an example. 刘慧是我的英语老师. Liu Hui is the name of a person. 是 means is. 我的 my English teacher. Liu Hui is my English teacher. This is a declarative sentence, right? So how can we ask about this sentence? How can we ask about the subject? In English, we should say, who is my English teacher, or who is your English teacher, right? In Chinese, we just replace the subject in a declarative sentence with its corresponding interactive pronoun, which is who. 谁是你的英语老师? Okay, this is kind of same as in English, the sentence structure. Let's look at the other one. 我打电话给小王. I 打电话 make a call. 给小王 to. 小王 is a person. It's a person's name. I'm calling 小王. This is also a declarative sentence, right? Now I want to ask about the 小王, the object of the action in the sentence. So what should we say in English? 小王 is the object of action, right? So for an object, for person, we should use whom or who. And we should use the WH pronoun to lead the interactive sentence, right? Who am I calling, or who are you calling, right? Here, the sentence structure starts to become different between Chinese and English. In Chinese, as it indicates here, the interactive pronoun stays in the same place as in a declarative sentence. In a declarative sentence here, the object is at the last of sentence, right? Similarly, in the interactive sentence, we should replace the object with its corresponding interactive pronoun, which is 谁. 谁. 你打电话给谁? See, we don't change the order of other parts, right? We just replace at the same position in the sentence. But in English, we always need to change the order. I mean, the order in the question sentence and that in a declarative sentence are always different. So this is one of the biggest differences. Look at this one. 这支笔是谁的? This pen is 谁的? Whose? See, this is the order in the Chinese question sentence. This pen is whose. However, in English, we should say, whose is this pen? Now you can see how different it is. Another one, 你早饭吃什么了? This is also a question sentence, right? 你 you 早饭 breakfast. Eat 什么 means what? You breakfast. Eat what? See, this is the Chinese order. But in English, we should say, what did you eat for breakfast? 你去哪里? 你去哪里? 哪里 means where, right? A place. It refers to a place. So actually, the declarative sentence for this question is 你去 some place. 去 means go. 你 you go. For example, 你上海. Let's assume it's Shanghai. You go Shanghai. So this is a declarative sentence. When we change it to an interactive sentence, we don't change any order. We just replace the part that we are asking about. 你去 where, right? Here we should use the interactive pronoun to replace this. 哪里 is in English it's where, right? 你去 where? 你去 where? 你去哪里？哪里 means where. But in English, the sequence, the order is totally different. Where do you go? Where do you go? Okay. Another one. 你的家乡在哪里？在哪里？ This part is the predicate of the whole sentence. In the declarative sentence form, this part is a place, right? A city, either it's a city name or it's a town name or it's a country. In the interrogative sentence, we just use a interrogative pronoun to replace that city name, that country name. We don't change any order. However, in English, apart from using the interrogative pronoun, where we should put that pronoun into the beginning of the sentence. Where is your hometown? We should not say your hometown is where. This is the sentence order in Chinese, but it's different here in English. 你什么时候回家？什么时候 means when. Actually in Chinese, the adverbial comes before the verb, before the predicate. So we say 你什么时候回家？ You what time go home? You what time go home? But in English, we should put the what time into the beginning of the sentence. What time do you go back home? Or when do you go back home? 你怎么去学校？怎么 means how, to indicate a way, a method to do something. See, it also comes before the verb. 去 means go. 怎么 means how. 你喜欢哪个？哪个 means which one. Which one? Here, 哪个 is the object in the sentence, right? However, in English, in a question sentence, we should put the interrogative pronoun at the beginning of the sentence. Which one do you like? Instead of do you like which one? That is the Chinese order. 你有多高？多 means how. It usually modifies an adjective. 多高 means how tall. 多远 means how far. 多大 means how old. How old are you, right? 你有多大 means how old are you. Okay. And if we want to ask about the reason why someone does something, usually in English we can use why, right? Most common word. Also, we can use how come. How come if we want to emphasize that we really want to know the reason. For why in Chinese we say 为什么？为什么？ For how come we say 怎么？怎么？ Let's look at some examples. 他为什么迟到？他为什么迟到？迟到 is a verb, is a predicate, even though it's adjective, right? Meaning it means late. 他迟到 This is the declarative sentence. And we want to ask about the reason. 为什么迟到 The 为什么 comes before the predicate. Why was he late? Actually, we can put the interrogative pronoun of 为什么 before or after the subject. Either is fine. 他为什么迟到？哦，为什么他迟到？为什么天是蓝的？为什么天是蓝的 ？Why is the sky blue? Here, 天是蓝的。This is the order in a declarative sentence. Even though it's part of an interactive sentence here, still we don't change the order, right? We don't change the order. For another character, 怎么 how come? How come? 你怎么没来？你怎么没来？你 means you 怎么 to ask about the reason. 没来 may means no, not. 来 means come. See here, we also put the interactive pronoun before the predicate, after the subject, right? Also, we can put it before the subject. That is also fine. So we can also ask in this way, 怎么你没来？怎么你没来？ We can put it in before the subject. How come you didn't come? How come you didn't? Now, this is really interesting. When we use why to ask about the reason, the sentence, the order is different from the declarative sentence. But when we use how come to ask about the reason, the order in the interactive sentence is actually the same as in the declarative sentence. This is a little similar to this, the sentence order in Chinese. This is interesting. Okay. So when do we use 为什么? Actually, in all cases, we can use 为什么 to ask for the reason. Just for cases that we are little bit angry, or we are just too surprised and we want to ask about the reason. We are too surprised to see something happened, and we really want to know the reason. We would use how come. How come? Okay, so the third part of the verb, that is about tenses. As I said at the beginning of this session, the grammar rules for verbs in terms of tense in English or in Spanish, there are tons of rules which is exactly what people struggle with. But in Chinese, we don't have that kind of grammar rules to change forms, but we still have a few rules to differentiate every tense. The first rule, or the top priority rule, is if we find some time noun or time noun phrases in a sentence, that makes it very clear for us to know what tense it is. For example, 今天, if I want to say something about 今天, it's about the present tense, right? Of course, it's not about yesterday, it's not about tomorrow, it's just about today. So I should be able to use the correct rule to make the sentence, right? For example, if there is noun of 昨天 means yesterday in the sentence, we should be able to know, okay, it's talking about something happened yesterday. Similarly, 明天 means tomorrow. 现在 means now. 过去 means in the past. 将来 means in future. 每天 means every day. When we say every day, we know that someone is talking about his routines, right? Which is corresponding to the present tense in English. So this is top priority. The second rule is for continuous tense. In English, we use the ing form for the verb, right? In Chinese, we use another verb before the verb. That is 在 plus a verb means the action is happening. For past tense in English, we change the form to its past form, right? Not a past particle, that's different. In Chinese, we add this character 了 after the verb and before the object of the verb. 了 means this action is finished. 了. For the perfect tense, which means something happened and something is already finished in the past. For example, I've been to Japan. This thing happened in the past, right? And it's already finished. In Chinese, we use the character 过 after the verb, also before the object. So it's 在了过. We use these three characters to indicate whether the verb is happening or is finished, happened in the past, or happened in the past and finished. So let's look at how we make the sentence in each tense. For present tense, we have a few actually adverbs that indicate something is something happens usually or frequently nowadays. For example, 每天 means every day. 常常 means often. 经常 is also often. 总是 always. 偶尔 sometimes. 有时候 sometimes. For example, 我每天 every day. 7点起床. I get up at 7 o'clock every day. So this is talking about somebody's routines, right? So it's a present tense. For present tense, actually we don't add any other character before or after the verb. The verb itself is enough. Second, 他经常走路去上班. 经常 means quite often. 走路去上班，走路 walk 去上班to go to office. He often walks to the office. Say in English for the present tense, if the subject is he or she or it, right? We should change the verb a little bit. We should add s or es at the end of the verb. But in Chinese, we don't change anything. We don't change anything. Even though we don't have this adverb, 经常 means often, sometimes, quite often. Even though we don't have this character in the sentence, we can still tell it's a present tense. 他走路去上班. He walked and to go to work. From the sentence itself, I can tell it's also about somebody's routine, right? But with this adverb indicator, it makes more apparent that the tense is present tense. 偶尔，他们偶尔会吵架。偶尔 means sometimes. They fight sometimes or at times. 偶尔。我有时候不吃晚饭。有时候 sometimes. I don't have a dinner sometimes. Okay, this is also about the current status of somebody, right? Somebody's life pace, life routine. For present continuous tense, okay, we have very clear rule here. We have the character 在 or 正在 before the verb. For its negative form, we just add the negative character here, 没 before 在 do something. For example, 我在看书. 看书 is a verb, right? 看书 is a verb, means read book. Read a book. This is a word. I've explained about the word structure in one of the previous sessions, right? This is a V plus O structure verb. V plus O. 看书. So the whole word or phrase, if you think it's phrase, it's a phrase, is the predicate. So before the predicate, we add the character 在 to indicate something is ongoing, is happening. 我在看书 means I am reading. What is the negative form of it? 我在看书. Before 在 we add another character 没 to which means something is not happening. I am not reading. 我没在看书. 没在 This is the negative form. 他们在聊天。聊天 means chat, talking, right? 他们在聊天 means they are talking now. It's happening. It's in progress now. They are talking. 外面正在下雨。下雨 means rain. Raining, it's a verb. 下雨 it's a verb. 正在下雨 means the action is the action is happening. You can use 在 or 正在. Either is fine. 外面正在下雨 It is raining outside. 外面 means outside. 你正在 or 你在做什么？做什么 do something. 你正在做什么 means what are you doing now? What are you doing now, right? What are you doing? 你在做什么？你正在做什么 Both are fine. So it's 在 or 正在 plus a verb. How about the past tense? Past tense means something happened in the past time. The rule is V plus le plus object. Means between the verb and object, the action of the verb, we should add a character le or 过. 过 means something happened in the past and it's already finished. The first one, 了 means something happened in the past, but it may not have finished. But anyway, they all happen in the past. For example, 他去年毕业. See, this is the first rule, the top priority rule, right? Whenever we see a time noun or time phrase, we should first follow this indicator, time indicator, to make the sentence. 他去年毕业. 去年 means last year, so it says about something that happened in the last year. So we should use the past tense in English during the translation, right? He graduated last year, so we should use the past form. 我明年毕业. Here, the time phrase in the sentence 明年 means next year, so it's about the future, right? So we should use the future tense in English. I will graduate next year. We should use will. 昨天我去看了电影. Okay, we find the time here in the sentence. 昨天 means yesterday. 我去看了电影了. Okay, see, we have a 了 after the verb and before the object. So it's about something that happened in the past. And also, again, we see this time word. It's about yesterday. So I should use the past tense. I watched the movie yesterday. 刚才我跑了步. Okay, in this sentence we don't have any noun about the time. We can only tell or judge from other things, right? I see the character 了 between the verb and the object. So I know it's about the past tense. I should use the past form. I ran just now. I ran just now. 我去过北京. Still no time now. I should check other helping verb or helping character. 过. I found this one 过 between the verb and object. So it's talking about something happened in the past and something that is already finished. So I can use the past form, and I can use the perfect form. I can say I've been to Beijing. Or actually, I can also say I went to Beijing before, right? I went to Beijing before. For future tense, usually we would use some adverbs before the verb to indicate that something is going to happen sooner or later. Different adverb means how close the thing is. For example, we have adverb 要 means something's going to happen. 快要 means something's going to happen soon, really soon. 马上 is similar to 快要, also means something is going to happen soon. And 会 means, actually it's a little bit different. For these three characters, if it's talking about something that is definitely going to happen, 会 here, it indicates less possibility. Something might happen, may happen, but may not happen or something, but we're not 100% sure it's going to happen. We just can conclude that it may happen, it could happen. So this is the difference. Also, we have another form to indicate the future tense. We can use some special verbs that mean something is going to happen. So it's a form of verb plus verb. Here, this verb means plan. The second verb is the exact thing that is going to happen. For example, we have the verb 打算, which means plan. And also we have the verb 计划 means make a plan, also plan. We can add the verb, the action that is going to happen after these two verbs. For example, 我明天去上海. Here we don't see the adverb here, right? We don't see anything here, but we see a time phrase. We see a time now, 明天. Okay, we know it's talking about something that will happen in future. So in the translation, I should use the future tense. I will go to Shanghai tomorrow. Tomorrow is the key. 我马上来. 马上 is the adverb, right? Before a verb. So I know it's also talking about the future tense. 我马上. I will come. And also soon. 马上 means something that's going to happen immediately. So we should add this soon. 火车快要开了，快要 it's similar to 马上. Okay, so we should use the future tense. The train is going to leave soon. 要下雨了，it's just talking about something happening in the future. We don't know when it will happen, in 1 hour, in 2 hours, we don't know. So we don't need to add anything to indicate that. We just use the future tense. It is going to rain. We don't add soon or immediately here. 明天会下雪. If we still remember 会, what's the difference between 会 and 要, 快要, 马上? 会 is about the possibility, right? Something might happen, could happen. So here we don't know. We don't use is going to because that is a very conformative tense, right? So we don't use that. We just use may, might, could. It may snow tomorrow, but anyway, it's talking about the future. Okay, for the second form, verb plus verb. For example, 我打算. 打算 is the first verb, right? So second, we should add another verb. Verb 打算 means plan. Plan to do what? 学西班牙语. 学 is the verb. 学 means learn. Learn Spanish. So in translation, I should say I plan to learn Spanish. So two verbs here, right? One is plan, one is learn. Similarly, for another verb, 计划. 计划 means to make a plan. Make a plan. 计划. 计划. Next, we should add another verb. 去英国. 去 go to UK. 下个月去英国. I plan to go to UK next month. See another difference here in In Chinese, we always put the adjective before the noun. And we always put the adverbial before the verb. See here, 下个月, next month. It's adverbial about time, right? However, in English, for a phrase that works as adverbial, we usually put it after the verb. Go to UK next month. We don't say I plan to next month go to UK. We don't say this, right? If it's especially if it's a phrase, we always put it after the verb. This is also very important sentence between Chinese and English. Finally, we are finished with all the grammar rules about the verb. Let's take a quiz. 我常常不吃晚饭. Okay, please tell me what tense this sentence is about. Can you tell? I already gave some hint here. 常常 or 经常，我经常不吃晚饭。I often don't eat dinner. I don't eat dinner. So this is talking about somebody's routine, right? So it should be a present tense. Another one. 我过去常常不吃早饭. Okay, this is a similar sentence. 我过去 means in the past. 常常, this is the same one. 常常, right? Means often, as the first sentence. 常常不吃早饭. In the first sentence, it's 不吃晚饭, don't eat dinner. Here, it's don't eat breakfast. These two sentences looks like same. But is it really same? As we've learned to tell the tense for a sentence, the first priority rule we should check is to see whether it has the time phrase in the sentence, right? In the first, we don't have any time now, time phrase. But in the second sentence, we have this 过去. Okay, if we find any time sentence as time phrase in the sentence, we should always follow this as the priority one. It's about in the past. 过去 is in the past. So the tense about this sentence is the past. So in the translation, I should use the past tense, right? I often didn't have breakfast in the past. Here I cannot use don't, right? I often don't have breakfast in the past. This is contracting. This is contracting, right? In the past means this is something happening in the past. So this is to help you better understand the priority of different rules. Here, as I mentioned, first, always check if there is any time noun or phrase in the sentence. If there is, we tell the tense just based on the time noun. If there isn't, we can check if the sentence fits any formula of these rules to tell if it's continuous tense, if it's past tense, or if it's perfect tense. Okay, that's all for today. I know it's a lot of information, but I already tried to summarize it to make it clear and hit the point and to serve as the guidelines so that you don't spend lots of time um, jumping here and there to learn all the stuff about this grammar part. I know it still takes time to practice, but I think this session, this sharing, should be helpful whenever you get stuck in learning when you run into questions about the verbs, especially the tenses. You can always come back and go over it and again and again. So if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to leave me a question. I've shared my email address in the introduction area in my homepage. See you. Bye bye everyone. 再见. Hasta luego.